Hello, I'm Dr. Michelangelo Oss with Modern Family Dentist, and I wanted to create this video because I have a lot of information for you today. And this video is about the options that we have in actually financing our dentistry. And before we get into that, let me just back up for a minute. I analyzed about 30,000 treatment plans, so I have a lot of data for you, and certainly a lot of information to share about those treatment plans. And I broke them down based on what people did and who did comprehensive care, and I looked at that, and then I looked at what the options would be to finance that, and I want to share some of that with you. One of the things before we get into that, Wisconsin is a melting pot, and so what actually happens is that anybody in the state of Wisconsin can own a dental clinic. So certainly we have private equity and hedge funds, different investors, and then we also have dentists who still own their dental clinics. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I've written about this actually in some journals, and my feelings about the subject are well documented, and so the big concern for dentistry right now is that the possibility might occur where you remove the service team from the office and you would put in a sales team. And I just want to assure you that that's not something that I'm ever going to do. I want to make this video because I need to be creative and reach out to you and allow you to have this information so that you can process it in a way that's comfortable for you. So the comfort of your own home, or certainly on a mobile device, or however you want to receive the information. And then if it's something that you're interested in, you can begin the conversation with me, and I'm certainly here to serve you, and I hope I have the opportunity to help you. So let's dive right in. There's an interesting article that I had read not too long ago, and the 1980s, when insurance was really coming about for dentistry, the maximum on the plan that the insurance company was willing to pay was about $1,500. And so when you look at it today, it's still about $1,500. And the point of this article in the journal was that if the insurance had kept up with the price of inflation, the benefit that you would have from your insurance company today would actually be about $7,000. And you and I both know that's certainly not the case, okay? Now, I'm grateful for insurance companies. We're extremely insurance friendly. I think that this is very comforting for patients because ultimately your insurance company sets the price. I don't set the price. And so that's a way that the patients feel like they're getting a fair deal and a good value. And so, I'm certainly grateful for every insurance dollar that a patient gets. It's just that we need to realize that it hasn't kept up with the pace of inflation, and there's really a reason for that. The reason is because your employer can change plans, can change insurance plans every single year if they want. And the insurance companies, if they were to invest this kind of money into your mouth, and then your insurance company, or rather your employer, was to simply change insurance companies, the insurance company wouldn't have a chance to get their investment back. And so that's why these maximums, what the insurance company, the dental insurance company, is willing to invest has not really changed. Certainly there's a lot of changes in the economy right now, and there may be some changes in insurance coming up, and that's great. We'll wait to see what happens, but for right now we need to talk about what can be done. And so the average cost to an American for insurance per year, when you've kept up on yourself, the average out-of-pocket cost is about $300 per year. So it breaks down to about $25 a month. And certainly, if you stayed on top of things and you don't have a need for a larger treatment plan, then this probably isn't the video for you. You actually, you don't need to look at what your financing options would be, but there's definitely people out there that have a lot of damage in their mouth, and they're aware of that. and they want somebody that's going to be, you know, respectful and kind to them, and share options what they could do about fixing their mouth. Because certainly, you know, especially with the economy the way that it is, you know, getting back into the employment is boy, oh boy, I mean, your aesthetics and your look and how you've taken care of yourself and certainly your smile, these are all things that matter. And I think that all of us know that. However, it's just that it needs to be something that's affordable as well. And so let's dive right in. You know, I've broken these down, you know, the treatment plans that I looked at. The first range that I dove into when I broke down all these treatment plans was really that $0 to $4,000 range. The types of things that fall into this range, when I was looking at patients that had made this decision, it was really people that had decided to probably go with you know, dentures, certainly fall into this range. You know, maybe some fillings, you know, maybe a filling and a crown. And what was happening is when I was looking at this range, actually the median, you know, like what people were really truly spending in this range seemed to be around $2,500. And so what happens is that, you know, let's say you come in and your insurance company spends about, you know, maybe they're willing to invest about $500 on your behalf. And so the company that I'm working with right now to work with some of this financing, you know, when I investigated them, I was really careful, and this one was actually started by a group of doctors who were really interested in trying to help patients do a little bit more. And when the economy went bad, actually a lot of the financing, you know, really just froze up. And so this is something that, you know, the need is still there for people. And what I like about this company is that, you know, they're really a compassionate company, and they can really look at the individual and they can assess, you know, on a case-by-case basis. And they've been able to help patients that have credit scores as low as 550. Some people just got upside down on their house and they had to walk away, and it doesn't mean that they're a bad person or a bad risk. It's just that, you know, there's just certainly some things that need to be looked at that make everybody have a little bit of a difference when it comes to whether or not they're a safe risk. And this company is certainly able to look at all of those things. And so that's really a nice thing. And so a lot of times, you know, patients have, let's say, maybe just a $500 out-of-pocket, you know, the insurance company is only willing to invest about $500, and so, you know, you really look at what is left over in that treatment range, and what happens is that, you know, you wind up with about anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000, you know, left to finance, and so, you know, you say, what does that break down to a month? And actually, with this company that I'm working with now, that can literally break down between, you know, $23 a month all the way up to around like $60 a month, and it really depends on you know, how they feel you are as a credit risk and what you can put down. But a lot of times what patients are choosing to do is to put, you know, what their insurance would be willing to invest in them as the down payment, and then you just have these monthly payments. You know, and then so certainly the next range that we get into is, it's about the $4,000, you know, to $12,000 range, and this type of stuff is for patients that have more damage in their mouth, or maybe you're looking at doing some cosmetics, you know, and this is for people that need to rebuild the system. So in dentistry, what we're starting to do is we really look, you know, if you were to go and you wanted to purchase a car, okay, well, a car is built out of a lot of systems that make it work properly. And so you don't go and buy the engine and buy a seat and 3 wheels and then expect to drive it around. And so you know, certainly you can patch things up in the mouth and you can get by. A lot of people have done that over the years. But what happens is that, when you start to look at the head and neck region and the systems that are actually involved in building it, it is important, if you want things to work properly, that you fix the different systems. And so we go through in a systematic way, and we evaluate you, and sometimes what you need to invest in yourself in order to get happy and healthy again is actually quite a bit more than what you had originally thought. And so what happens is that with these types of treatment plans, when you put the money down that your insurance would be willing to invest, sometimes you need to put a little bit more. It really just depends on where you're at in the range. But when you look at fixing systems, it's certainly a larger investment. And so the one thing is though is that this could actually be you're anywhere between, on these treatment plans, you can be $85 a month all the way up to $275 a month. And so what happens is that when you have, let's say that you have a lot of crowns that need to be done, or you're really terrified and you've just put the dentist off for a number of years, and you have a larger treatment plan and you want to be sedated, or you've thought about all this pain that you've been having, and it's the darndest thing, every time you eat a piece of bread, a piece of your tooth breaks. These are the patients that when you have a lot of damage in your mouth, you're going to be starting to get on the lower end of this range. It seemed like in these treatment plans, the people that had put it off the longest had actually quite a bit of an investment. And even the research shows that, because you look at somebody that goes to the dentist every 4 to 6 months, and they're only spending about $300 a year out of pocket. And then certainly you look at these treatments where people haven't gone, and they have quite an investment to get their body back in shape. And the problem with dental insurance is that the more catastrophic your condition, actually the less they want to invest in you. And so if you think about cleanings and x-rays, these types of things actually get covered, but then a lot of time, and at 100%, so they want to encourage you to be healthy. And then a lot of times when you have, like, let's say a root canal or a crown or something along those lines, and an implant, the root canals and crowns a lot of times will only be covered at 50%. An implant won't be covered at all, and so you need to start to begin to explore, what other ranges there or options that you have. And so these are things that we certainly would really enjoy to talk to you about. And so the best way to actually figure out where it is you're going to fall into some of these ranges is to make a consult appointment, and let's just meet and talk about some of your needs, and then you can actually see for yourself what your individual options would look like. And so that's one of the things that I think that would really benefit you most. And certainly you need to find a dentist that is somebody that you can be comfortable with, and that's willing to talk to you and to explain your options, and then allow you to seek care as you see fit. There is another type of patient out there that, maybe you've worn dentures for quite a long time and they've never worked for you. And what dentistry is moving into now is actually, putting in implants and then actually putting a fixed bridge on there. And these treatment plans tend to run, when you completely rebuild the mouth, and then, it doesn't even work like a denture anymore. It begins to work like your own teeth. Certainly these treatment plans can run north of $12,000, and we work with specialists in order to accomplish these things. And so that's something that we'd be happy to talk to you about as well. And it's really best to just come in and discuss those on a one-on-one basis. And I can certainly customize that treatment plan for you and see if I can meet your needs. And so I hope this gets you thinking. I want you to understand that this is the beginning of the conversation, and that I want you to have some information to think about, and certainly when you begin to finance and you look at these payment options, for $60 a month, or even as much as $275 a month, $85 to $275 a month. These are really amazing things that are starting to happen in dentistry, and as long as you find a dentist that's willing to be a service provider to you, and certainly I don't want you to ever feel like you're being pressured. This is just a conversation, And when you come in, it's going to be another conversation. And you know, if you are taking care, there's a lot of patients that I've taken care of out there, and they're elderly patients. I mean, they're definitely in their golden years, and their children are helping them to make a lot of the financial decisions, and they're not legal guardians per se, but they're definitely involved in their finances and helping them manage their monthly bills. And if these patients are going to come in, I truly prefer for you, you know, if you're going to come in and do a consult with me, bring the people that help you make these decisions, help you process these decisions, because what happens a lot of times is that, you know, somebody comes in and they say, yeah, this will work, and they actually, you know, it's hard for them to explain, and what happens is I wind up redoing the consult, and I certainly don't mind doing that, because nobody's going to get into a situation where they're confused and then we start treatment. You have to fully understand what's happening before I'll even proceed, or any dentist in my company will proceed. And so that's extremely important, that, you know, if somebody is helping you make decisions, you need to bring them in. And so, and certainly one of the nice things as a parent, you know, so some of these options, if your child hasn't been into the dentist for quite a long time, you know, these options are available to you as well. You know, one of the things that the American Academy of Pediatric Dentists is recommending now is actually that children come in by the age of 6 months, you know, when that first tooth starts to come in their mouth. And certainly that's because we want them to get used to us. And let's have a couple of good, fun, healthy experiences before we ever have to fix anything, because then they like me, you know, and I definitely like for my patients to like me. And that's a little bit of a separate subject. And anyways, look at the website, check out some of our other videos, you know, feel free to explore. And if you feel like I'm somebody that can help you, I really can't wait to serve you. And this is Dr. Michelangelo Oss with Modern Family Dentists. And remember, smiles change outcomes. Have a great day.